We're going to be looking at some real estate statistics for Oak Hills, California, that's going to tell us what's happened in the real estate market here in the last couple months and what we can expect in the near future. All right, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dave Rupp, also known as Dr. Hot Rod the Realtor. I'm a real estate agent at eXp Realty in Southern California. All my contact information is down below in the notes, so definitely take a look at that and give us a like, a thumbs up, a share, a comment, something good for us. Also, we're doing a giveaway for a free dozen cookies. I'll be giving you information throughout the video or at the end of the video on how to set yourself up for that drawing. What we're doing here with all these statistics is we're kind of doing the same thing that you do in a hospital. Somebody comes in that's sick, they hook up all these machines to you, they want to know your heart rate, oxygen levels, and a bunch of statistics that's going to paint a picture for them and tell them what the condition of the patient is and what to expect in the near future and how to treat them. So in the real estate industry, as an agent, it's my job to constantly watch and monitor these statistics. Knowing what to expect in the future gives me information that I can tell my clients so they can make a proper decision for what's best for them. The different statistics that I'm going to be watching are how long it took to sell the house, how much the house sold for, maybe how many offers the house had on it. Did the house sell for what originally was asked, or did it sell for less? How many new houses are coming on the market? How many houses just dropped off that didn't sell and they didn't relist the house? There's a handful of things that we watch. Not all of them are relevant every month when we look at the statistics. So in this video, we're just going to cover the ones that seem appropriate for right now, what's going on in the market here in Oak Hills now. All right, so I'll give you an example of how we use these statistics. You've heard the term supply and demand. Supply is how many houses are for sale. Demand is how many people are looking to buy. If you've got a high number of people looking to buy and a low number of houses for sale, the prices of those houses are going to go up. So as we're watching the statistics and we see these numbers starting to drop on the amount of available houses and increase on the amount of people searching, we know the price is going to go up on the houses. We want to stay current when we're looking at statistics, so we're only going back 3 months. We compare 1 month to another to the previous month and see what the trend is showing. Is something going up? Is it going up and down and basically staying the same? It doesn't really matter, or what's going on. First thing I want to look at is the number of homes that are available for sale right now in Oak Hills. Okay, so that number is about 34. Last month it was 40, so we're on the decline. Next number we're going to look at is the number of days that a house is actually for sale before somebody says, okay, I like your offer, I'll accept your offer. Right now, 113 days. That's on the increase, and that's all 3 months. It's progressively increasing. The number of houses that have sold for the last 3 months basically stayed the same. It went 9, 10, 11, something like that. Pretty even. The number of new listings, new houses available to purchase, that's actually on the rise this month. So we went up from 11 to 14. Sale price compared to the original asking price went up a little bit as well. Okay, so the last thing we're going to look at is a 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate. For the last 3 months, it's been about 6.25. This last month, it was 6.5. We also know the interest rate is projected to continue to go up. And as we know from a few months back, when the interest rate went up, it started to make people less likely to buy. That's pretty much always how it's going to be, unless there's some crazy demand that overpowers that. Right now, we don't have that. Okay, so how do we make sense of all this information? How do we put it together and use it? Let's look at the interest rate first. 30-year fixed rate mortgage went from 6.25 average over the last 3 months, which isn't bad, up to 6.5. Normally, you would think, okay, whatever, it's fairly stable. But the Fed, who decides when to raise the interest rate, has hinted that he will be raising the interest rates to curb inflation, and he expects it to go over 7%. What happens when the interest rate goes up? Usually buyer demand goes down. And that information is an indicator that you're going to have a future that will have longer times to sell a house, less buyer interest in the house, and more competition. Okay, so now let's take a look at it from a buyer's perspective and from a seller's perspective and see what the benefits are to each. What are the statistics telling a buyer? Since the one statistic about how long it takes to sell a house seems to be increasing pretty rapidly, I would say that right off the bat, that's going to tell you as a buyer that you have more leverage. You can look at properties, take your time, make lower offers, and not be so worried that somebody else is going to buy that house out from under you. But the other side of the coin on this one is, since the data is also telling us interest rates could rise, you might not want to wait so long. You might want to get in and do your negotiating now while you have good leverage and a lower rate. Okay, so what's our statistics telling sellers? One, the best news for sellers right now is that inventory is shrinking. That means a buyer has less options. But on the flip side of that, interest rates are going up, which tends to make buyers drop out. So you're going to get less buyers. Number two, the amount of days that it takes to sell a house for the last 3 months has gone up each month. So as a seller, right now, you probably want to be a little bit more conservative. Don't hold out for the big buck. And over the past 6 months, we've seen sellers go out and price their house a little too high, hold out for the big bucks, and end up losing because the price of the house keeps getting nudged down a little at a time, and the market's dropping along with it. So they're kind of chasing the market down instead of ever getting ahead of it and just aggressively negotiating and selling the house. End up in the bottom line, I know one house ended up selling $100,000 less. If they'd have gone out there in the first place and put a reasonable price on it and not held out for this high pie in the sky number, then they would have sold their house at about $50,000, $75,000 more than they actually ended up taking for it once it's all said and done. Okay, so where are we going to be in another couple months? Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody on earth can tell you what's really going to happen before it happens. We can only speculate based on these trends that we see developing in the statistics. So if the Fed decides to go ahead and raise the interest rate, I think what we'll see is the buyers pull out, prices go down, and the market will stay soft. If they don't, inventory's low, prices will probably nudge back up a little bit. So we'll wait and see what the Fed does, and then we'll go from there. All right, now I'm going to tell you about the free cookies. How do you enter to win? Throughout the video, you will have noticed there's numbers up at the top of the screen. It's going to be a single-digit number. There will be 3 times that it appears during the video. Okay, you'll need to watch back through the video if you didn't write them down. Say, for example, 6 appears, and then a couple minutes later, 8 appears, and then maybe a little bit later, a 9 appears. Then 6, 8, 9. It's going to be a 3-digit number. That's going to be the code to enter for the cookie drawing. What that tells us is that you watched the video. After you watch the video, get the code, then you're going to contact us by email. Email's in the contact information below. You're going to title your email cookies. You're going to tell us what the top 3 choices of your favorite cookies are, and that 3-digit code, 689. Also, you're going to want to put your first and last name and a good text phone number for you in the body of the email. And you'll need to leave a comment in the comments section below, and that will enter you in the drawing. The cookies come from my favorite bakery. It's an online bakery. They only ship to California, so you won't be able to receive it if you're outside of California. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share it with a friend. See you on the next video.